Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Phil.
Check, check, mic check. Okay, we're good. This typically is one of my longer presentations. We've all had to pivot. We're all very grateful for everything that's gone on with this. So I'm going to make it through in 30 at the most. That being said, I'm going to not hit some of the high points. I'll try to hit the high points. There'll be some that I don't. I'm available to you. My contact information will be on the last slide. I'm Phil Sanov. I'm not hard to find on all the social platforms. Type in hashtag #BadassMorningMessage and you will find my social media platforms. Every morning, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, I put out, some of you get it, and I'm grateful for those that have come and talked to me about it. I send out to about 1,000 people and then post on all the socials a 1-minute inspirational, motivational video message. And I just feel like that is something, if you can start your day with gratitude, start your day with motivation, we're all, at least, sometimes that's the only motivation we hear. That's the only good news we hear is my message to you in the morning. If that's you, I'm sorry, I regret that for your life, but at least let me be that for you. And so if you ever have any questions about anything, life, love, pursuit of happiness, the claim game, holler at me. We'll get you figured out. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. No one told me how to use this. The big green button advances it. Okay, so we're all here in the claim game. That's why we're here, right? It's not, the big green button. If you want to win the claim game, you got to get ready to race. Race is not what we would think of that some contractors and public adjusters do, go as fast as you can and get all the claims. What I mean by race, we'll go through it one by one. R is for results, A is for action, C is check in, E is evaluate. We're going to talk about what we do here with those steps to make sure that we do win the claim game. Let me back up 1 second. I'm Phil Sanov. I'm with Morgan & Morgan. I'm a trial lawyer. My fun is talking to judges and juries and getting verdicts. I've got multi-million-dollar jury verdicts, policyholder victory verdicts across the country. If I can help you, I will. I help supervise. It's growing all the time. So I always say 60-plus lawyers in 25-plus offices, 15-plus states across the country. Morgan & Morgan is based in Florida, but our lawyers are all over the country. We can help you wherever you are. If you need to find me, if you need to get with somebody about anything, you can mostly find me on social, #BadassMorningMessage. Could we please take one moment and give a hand to Sean, to Cal, to Melanie? There's been a lot of pivots because of the weather. When I was Merton Law Group's national trial lawyer for many years, I helped put on a much smaller scale conferences of this nature. They talk about it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village to put on those small conferences. What you guys have faced to put this on, inaugural association conference, and with the weather issues of speakers not able to get here, you still had such a stellar conference, wonderful content, wonderful people. Thank you for putting this all together and everything you did. All right, now let's talk about the race. This is where I typically talk about my story a little bit and confirm for you if I can make it. If I can do it, you can do it, anybody can. I'm going to condense my 15 to 20 minute personal story to 60 to 90 seconds. When I was born, there were great complications. The doctors told my parents the good news was that I survived the 16-hour birth. The bad news was that I had severe permanent brain damage and that I would never mature beyond the 2nd grade level. My brother and sister will tell you they got that right. I always try to say, well, we got that a little bit wrong. The better news, they told my parents, there is a home, an institution that will take your child, and you can come to see him as much as once a week. That was the first doctor that my mom slugged. And here I am. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can make it, you can make it. March 2nd, 1997, 10:38 p.m., patient expired. Tragic car accident, flown to the trauma center, met all their protocols. They opened up their paddles wide open. I've still got scars on my chest. Patient expired, 10:38 p.m., March 2nd, 1997. Here I am. I'm not going to go through the time that it would take because I've got 24 minutes, 22 seconds left. It would take that much time. The EMT helicopter pilot saw that I was flatlining. He screamed, "Not on my watch, no." Came in, opened the paddles back up, put them on my chest. I think he made the scars. Thank God he did. The good news for me is that when you start going beep, beep again, they don't quit working on you. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can make it, you can make it. Anybody can. Now let's get more into the substance here. Results. Start your claim with the results in mind. Start your claim with the results in mind and do what you're best at. Contractors. What you're best at is selling roofs and building roofs. If you've gotten a no a couple of times on a claim, what you're best at is not to continue dealing with that insurance company. Take the claim to a good public adjuster. Take the claim to a good policyholder lawyer. I was going to say there's several of them still in the room. There's a few of us still left in the room. I understand I wasn't here for all the conferences either, all the presentations either. Let us do what we're best at. Public adjusters, if the actions you're taking, and contractors, the actions you're taking are not advancing that claim, get it to someone that's their result. That's what they're best at. Let's focus on, I believe with everything that I've got. That's the thrust of my morning messages. Everybody needs to do what they're best at. Believe in yourself. Be the best in the world at your thing. Pick your thing and be best at it. When it goes beyond that, the best way to get the result is move it down the line. Let somebody else who's better at it, that's their thing, let them do it. The A, action. Take action. Action changes things. Those of you that get the messages, you see that was my theme this morning. Act. If you get stuck, act. Action changes things. Sometimes the act you take ain't the best action, what you need at that moment. But you've taken action. You've done what you can to move the needle. It's the action that changes things. I've been stuck for a couple of weeks. I don't want to bore people with my personal story about the work thing that I'm stuck with. I finally had to take my own gospel, listen to my own preaching, take action. I started taking action. Each step wasn't the right step, but it was a step. It got me unstuck. Take action. Action changes things. Then you got to check in. You got to check in. Is what you're doing to try to get your result working out on the excellent part? Great. Keep doing it. Are you further down the line? Are you so far down the line that it's time to let someone else take action? Keep checking in. Don't get blinders. Say, I'm going to keep calling for that reinspection. I'm going to keep calling that adjuster. I'm going to keep going through that. You, as a public adjuster or contractor, can't put the carrier at the greatest fear of loss. Some of the best files that I get to be able to get paid are from public adjusters that have documented their file of all the times that they did try to move it along. At some point, you've got to check in, and it's not moving it along. You're taking all your action. You've checked in. It's time to evaluate. Stop doing what doesn't work. Stop doing what doesn't work. Change your approach. Don't change your outcome. Don't change the result you want. Don't change who you are and what you're best at. Evaluate. Change your approach. Stop doing what doesn't work. I find that there are 10 words that are the most important words for policyholder attorneys, public adjusters, contractors in getting to the point of the claim being accepted and paid. The first word is primarily to protect the roofing contractor and the public adjuster. Verify. Verify that coverage exists at all. Verify sublimits as to what the coverages are. I've started bringing this up into my presentations after Hurricane Laura and Hurricane Sally, more so Laura. I had public adjusters and contractors that I work with that after they had spent untold amount of time, untold amount of resources, tarpon roofs, mitigation, all sorts of things that thank goodness the contractors and mitigation companies were there to do. Then when they finally bothered to read the policies within the big notebook that the church or the commercial building or even the residents had on their coverages, no wind coverage. Louisiana is one of those states, a lot like TWIA in Texas, a lot like Citizens in Florida. There's a Citizens of Louisiana. So many of those policyholders, God, we all feel bad for them, ended up being non-policyholders for wind coverage. I never saw so many commercial buildings. I never saw so many churches that didn't have wind coverage. And I knew MIC companies that had spent $50,000 worth of true billable time and believed the pastor when he came and handed him a notebook that said, here's all my policies. Okay, you're covered. We're going to start. You got to verify that coverage before you start. Document, document, document. Cal, I'd love to come give a quick, I'm sure you cover everything. Please don't misunderstand me, but I've got some unique documentation ideas that I find work when the policies, when the claims do have to go up the ladder. I'd love to come talk to you boot camp sometime in this nature. Document how much time you spent doing your inspection, doing your investigation, putting your estimate together. Document what time you got there. Document what time you left. Document what time you spent at the computer entering the data, or your data entry folks spent at the computer putting the data in for the program to create an estimate. Document how many times you had to get back to the carrier to set up a reinspection. Document how many times they canceled. Document how late they were. Document what time they got there. Document how many minutes it was before they left. You document exactly what they looked at. At least as importantly, document what they didn't look at. Hey, we've got these trusses up here, we've got this decking up here, we've got whatever. Oh no, I'm not going to look at that. How many of you have had carriers that wouldn't get on the roof, wouldn't go look at decking, wouldn't climb in an attic? Document it. Document it. Document it. Language. Language matters. I'm a trial lawyer. I have learned the hard way that judges and juries forgive mistakes. Judges and juries forgive failures. We are a forgiving society. Oops can be okay to judges and juries across the country. Judges and juries do not forgive choices. Judges and juries do not forgive choices. When you write a letter to the carrier, your adjuster failed to adjust this. Your adjuster missed this. No, no, no. Your adjuster chose not to inspect this. You as a carrier chose to withhold a fair, prompt, and accurate inspection to your policyholder. Choices, choices, choices. Don't put any time. I supervise 60-something lawyers across the country. Before they send out any letters, before they send out any demands, before they file any motions, any responses, at least they're supposed to. They tell me they do. These are the instructions. Do a word search. Does the word fail or failure appear? If it does, change it to choice or chose not to. Does the word mistake appear? Change it. Chose not to. Chose to withhold a fair, adequate, prompt, accurate inspection. Don't call people your client. I do word searches, make sure I'm not calling them the policyholder. You're insured. Put that fiduciary duty back on them. Make sure if it has to go up the line, when the letter is being read in a deposition, when the email is presented as evidence at trial, you chose to withhold fair, adequate, accurate, prompt inspection from your insured. They're not my customer, they're not my client, they're not your customer, they're not your client. They're that carrier's insured. Language matters. Ask how questions. Don't ask why questions. How can I help you pay this claim? How can I help you, Mr. Desk Adjuster, not get called out for paying this claim? How can I give you what you need to pay this claim? Not why don't you pay it? Why did you fail? Why did you miss? I started doing this a couple of years ago. I see my friend Kevin Dandridge still here. Hey, Mr. State Farm Adjuster, how can I help you get this estimate approved? You've left out about $75,000 of my contractor's OSHA requirements. Well, we all know that contractors aren't OSHA experts. You don't have an OSHA expert. You've got $75,000 in your estimate. I can't pay your OSHA line items. Thank you, Mr. Adjuster. Let me respond to that email, what you just told me by email, and go hire Kevin Dandridge and pay Kevin Dandridge $5,000 to give me a protocol and get my $75,000 that made that radio station in, where were we? I think we were in Alexandria. No, Monroe, Louisiana. Ask how questions. How can I help you not get called out for approving this claim? Then go get what they need. Go get what they tell you. Some of them won't tell you. There's nothing you can do there. If you've got enough of a relationship, if you've been enough professional courtesy there, sometimes, more times than not now for me, they'll tell you what they need and I just go get it. Broadcast, particularly as a roofing contractor or a public adjuster. Broadcast to the world once it goes up the line or not up the line. Typically, I'm talking to people as an attorney, so it's going up the line. Broadcast to the world that you have an interest in that claim. If you're a roofing contractor or a public adjuster, if I take on your claim, the first thing I tell you to do is send me a letter. Copy the insurance company, copy the policyholder. I have an interest in the insurance proceeds for this claim based on your contract, based on the work you've done. Now, if you don't have a contract, I don't want to see a letter from you. I think we're all of the qualifications here, the public adjusters and the roofing contractors, that you're going to have that contract. Send me that letter. I can't make an insurance company put you as a public adjuster or put you as a contractor on the proceeds check that they send. But your letter to me means you don't necessarily have to go chase the money again. One of my great mentors, Mark Lanier, that I worked for many years, some of you may know him, he of the billion-dollar verdicts. He taught me it's never about the money until it's about the money, and it's always about the money. So instead of you going to chase when the money comes in, if you've sent me and broadcast that letter to everybody that you have an interest in the proceeds, then it's a whole lot easier for when my firm cuts the proceeds check back to the policyholder, that there has to be at least some sort of agreement between you two that you're either on the check or the payment goes straight to you. That's how you can protect your interest. Broadcast. So that was talking about, I'm flying on time. I'm really impressed with myself at what this ticker here tells me how much time I've got left. We've gone through the race. We've gone through getting the claim accepted. Now I'm pointing at you. I believe in my heart that we all need to focus on ourselves, self-improvement, personal development, all day, every day. It's not about being better than the next guy. It's not about being better than that adjuster. It's not about being better than the opposing counsel. But if I go to bed each night a little bit better than when I went to bed the night before, life is good. I encourage y'all to do the same. I got some tips. It's all about the 3 S's. We got 2. Sean, I'm on time, man. We're going to make it. I'm going to get you your time back. Sean told me to keep going. Don't worry about the time. But I'm mindful because I've put these on, and so you really got to stick to it. If you've seen my videos, if you know me at all, I believe in the power of 3. I believe in the magic of 3. This first set, Derek gets my videos every day, so Derek's going to probably know a little bit of this, what's coming. You've heard it on some of the videos. The 3 S's. The first S is standards. Raise your standards. If that claim needs another call made, if that claim needs an email response to memorialize what the adjuster just told you, to memorialize what the homeowner, what the policyholder just told you. Raise your standards. Do it. I got home last night. Some of y'all know I had some knee surgery coming up for my next couple of marathons. I had a giant monster shot put in my knee. That's why I couldn't come yesterday afternoon. It hurt like a maniac. I did not feel like reading through 2 claim files and sending out letters. I'd had a much better time coming back over here and enjoying a nice dinner that the Bush Law Group put on. I had to miss it. I had to raise my standards. I had to get 2 letters out last night. If you're a contractor, if you could put this line item in or leave it out, raise your standards. Do it, do it, do it. Do your best. Always be the best at your thing. The next S, self. Believe in yourself. My videos always end with, I love you, I believe in you, please believe in yourself. These all started with me just trying to be a good dad many years ago. My daughter, who was the ultimate badass, is now a professional dancer in Chicago. Ray's donated to it. Thank you, Ray. Unbeknownst to me, she spent all these years with haters getting in her ear. She didn't believe in herself. Daddy, thank you. I love you. I choke up on this. I'm trying to get through it. You always supported me. You always believed in me. You always encouraged me. I'm here because you believed in me. Thank you, Daddy. I said, baby, everybody believed in you. You're welcome. I love you. It's my job as your dad, my greatest joy on the planet. No, Daddy, everybody didn't believe in me. It made me not believe in myself. That day, many years ago, that's when the Badass Morning Messages were born. Every day since then, the first started with just her sending a message every morning, the first thing, some sort of encouragement, and her to believe in herself. I have since studied self-talk. I have since studied self-confidence. I know more about neurotransmitters and neurolinguistic programming than I ever thought I ever would. The biggest thing in the world, folks, the most important story in the world is the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. We have more conversations with ourselves all day, every day, than any other conversation on the planet. Lots of people say, no, I don't talk to myself. Well, you just did. Make sure you're having positive self-talk. Make sure you believe in yourself. Declare every morning, I'm the best in the world at, and then fill it in whatever your thing is. For me, I'm the best in the world at being Morgan & Morgan Insurance Recovery Group trial lawyer and team leader. That's the work affirmation. I've got my personal information about hubby and daddy. Whatever your thing is, believe in yourself. Speak it into existence. Maybe you don't believe it right away. But if you say it enough, you start to believe it, you start taking action that direction. Action changes things. Believe in yourself, extraordinary effort, you'll get there. This goes along with checking your strategy. Success leaves clues. Whatever you're trying to do, someone else has done it. Someone else has done it good. Get with them. John Black is a whole hell of a lot better at EUOs than I am. I sat right there and admitted, man, I've been doing it wrong for years. That's how you structure, how you figure out EUOs. Success leaves clues. When I figured out I was going to be the trial lawyer in all these cases, Rick Friedman, who's written a lot of books and has a lot of bad faith jury verdicts, thankfully had his email address out there. I sent him an email. Dude, I'm in trial in Florida. We don't have bad faith in here at the first rattle out of the box. It's my first case without bad faith, because in Texas we try them with bad faith. It's the night before closing argument. I got nothing. There are no good facts like we use at Lanier Law Firm. This is boring breach of contract stuff. What do I do? Mark Lanier, same thing, had all those verdicts, sent the same email. Thankfully, they both responded with very similar comments. I followed their structure. I made it my own. That was my strategy. Success leaves clues. It worked out. We got every penny we asked for. Then we got $2 million bad faith and fees on a $67,000 kitchen fire, $67,000 kitchen fire. You as a contractor, you as a PA, there are folks doing it right. Go to them. Not for nothing they got there. Someone helped them along the way. The most flattering emails and calls and texts that I get are the ones that ask me about my strategies. I don't take credit for them because I got them, a lot of them, from Rick Friedman, from Mark Lanier. You have to own it, make it your own, which is what you tell them. Own it, make it your own. Here's how you do it. Whatever it is, running your public adjuster company, running your contracting business. Lawyer Stephen Bush, who had to walk out, he and I talk about cases all the time. Find people who did it right, who have success. Success leaves clues. Go get with them. Small, simple steps. Again, y'all know I love the power of threes. This is the second 3 S's all together. Small, simple steps. The old joke is, how do you eat an elephant? I can't eat that. That elephant's giant. How am I going to eat that elephant? That's how I feel about a lot of my cases. But you break the cases, you break the elephants, you break your claims. Bite-sized chunks, small, simple steps. Take action. Get moving. Small, simple steps. Write it down. That's how did I pass the Florida bar exam? 31 years, while every day is a test, 31 years after I passed the Texas bar, I had to take the Florida bar exam. I thought about it 3 years before I finally signed up and said, I'm going to do it. Small, simple steps. Program it out. Every morning I'm going to wake up an hour early and I'm going to study. Every evening I'm going to have one less hour with wifey. She's going to thank me later. I'm going to study. Whatever you got, whatever it is, break it down. Small, simple steps. You can get there. We are going to stumble. We are going to trip. We are going to fall. It's not a loss. It's not a failure unless you quit. Don't give up on your dreams. Change your approach. Don't quit on your dreams. Evaluate. Go a different direction. The most important story in the world is the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. Make sure you're telling yourself the right story. Make sure you're telling yourself the story that you're the best in the world at your thing, and then go live it into existence. I love you. I believe in you. Please believe in yourself. Everyone in here, you are a badass. God love you. I'm good. If you need me, there I am. Sean, I gave you back 5 minutes and 26 seconds. We can catch up on that. If you need me, there's my stuff. I really am going to clear out so we can try to move some of this stuff along. I'll be here a little while. I'm not hard to find. There I am. Take a picture. I'm sure they'll leave it up for a second. I'll help you with anything you got. Thank you, man.
Phil, your daily morning message, you put that on You put that on your Facebook, and that's also on your Instagram, or are those the two platforms, or not your Instagram, your LinkedIn, are those the two platforms that's on?
So I post hashtag Badass Morning Message every morning, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you're not on any of those, I can't help you. Cal just told me not to go anywhere, so I'm going to hang right here.
There is teachable moments on everything. There's many people in this room that at some point in time or another I had a conflict with, or we didn't get along. There's several. If we can get to a point where we actually get past our egos, that's one of my biggest problems, my ego, to a point where we can actually stand up on the same stage. We can talk, we can be friends. I think it is a teachable moment for everybody in the field. I appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.